Are we live?
We are live.
We are live, and it's about to start smelling extra good up in here.
Okay, all right.
Rob about to catch some secondhand contact.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's finna be high by proxy.
I think I need to start living that way, man. Life's getting too crazy not to.
Bro, THC, my brother.
I know.
Come, man, look.
I know.
The next episode after this. What do you mean you know? What do you know?
I know that I'm slacking, and we've had experiences where it's been fun, and I'm like, nah, man, give me the whiskey instead. But now I'm like, I think I need to just turn the new leaf.
Yeah, I don't know at what point that I just, like, alcohol, bro. Maybe I just had too many nights.
Like across the board, everything. When I say like tequila, vodka, whiskey, you're like, nah. Like none of it sounds good anymore these days.
I mean, I sip red wine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then on every fucking blue moon, I'll sip a little tequila just because I really fucks with tequila out of all that. Yeah, because you just sip it anyway. But yeah, I don't know at what point in my life it was just like, man, the liquor just don't really, like, I just think about the sugar and then I just feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it, bro. Maybe I just got old. Because you got to remember, Rob, like, these days, you'll see me go do Chicago on a Wednesday, August 31st. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see me, you know, being the, trying to be the best dad and husband I can. That's why I'm a little bit late today, y'all. I was changing.
Daddy duty.
Man, I was changing buku diapers. I'm making to-go titis and el cereal pa esta. Oh, she wants bacon. Let me throw the bacon in the air fryer. And my wife's like, we don't have time for bacon. Anyway, we coming in hot. I was gonna light some incense, but I said, you know what? We about to do a collab.
Yes.
Red Pill Tamales podcast about to do a collab with a Twin Candle Company, and
we're trying to test scent. So maybe we'll kind of tease them with what you end up deciding. But what was the thought behind the candle? Like freedom, breakfast. You like coffee.
I like this one y'all was burning right here, and I'm like, bro, just white label my shit. just put like freedom breakfast scent. And
it's very similar. They're very similar, by the way.
Yeah, so we want to do a limited run for like just a month. We'll talk, to figure out production-wise when we could really realistically release and ship. But we want everybody to get that scent.
For sure.
That freedom breakfast.
Hell yeah.
So I'm about to light this one up. This right here is one of the prototypes. Let's just say it's called Coffee and Red Plum. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm on my QVC shit this morning, Big Don.
I like it.
So this episode, we're going to burn this one.
All right.
And just see what it do. But I definitely want to put the vibes in the air. Feeling very sophisticated. So we were saying,
yes,
like liquor and all that, bro. You got to remember, like, these days you might see me in Chicago Wednesday, August 31st. Get your tickets now. Back in the day, it might have been like party mode. Like I'm trying to work my single. I'm trying to promote myself as an artist. Like I'm coming from left field. I spotted a gap. I got my own lane. I'm about to have a generation of sons. Just let me get some shine. So that meant you're always at the club. You're always at the pool, the bar, the pool hall, wherever there was a hot party and where the people were. You're at Coca Loco. You're at T-Town. You're trying to get on the radio. You're trying to see if they're gonna shout you out. You might be in the DJ booth. It's like little stuff that's kind of like, okay, that sounds like a lot of energy. It sounds like a big excuse to just party.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. Like, Chingo, you just weren't ready to graduate. You wanted somebody to pay for your student loans, and you just wanted spring break all the time. But I ain't gonna lie. I mean, not only did I see an opportunity in my rap shit and show business, but, even though I was in the college and all that, I was like, bro, I just see a lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could run my mouth. I could talk my shit. And here we are still. RPT, bro.
Yeah.
Season 16, episode 217 of number them Red Pill Tamales. And now, yeah.
I can already smell it, honestly.
I'm smelling that freedom breakfast. Yeah. Because this is my idea, bro, behind the candle collab. Mm-hmm. We want to give somebody, all the fans, a very special limited. It's just something that we're gonna drop seasonally, maybe once a year. What's the fragrance for this year? You know what I mean? And
seasonally sounds good.
Yeah,
sounds
maybe
fun.
Yeah, for sure. And really more than anything, how can we all kind of connect on a mindset, a vibe, and a routine? Yeah. So for example, sometimes, we probably gonna have to start another podcast because this is supposed to be RPT. We're supposed to be roasting all the headlines, and we're gonna. We sticking to the list. But I say that to say this, like the candle thing, I want like all the folks that are on the same mindset. Like, hey man, you just understand a little bit about family and life and what's going on and how you got to keep your mind right. You can't let your brain get foggy. You can't be distracted. You can't have wrong negative energy. You can't be stressing yourself, worrying, anxiety. Like, you got to be your number one fan, like Cat Williams said in one of them jokes. But like, that's my idea with this, is for all the people that whether your morning routine is like prayer, push-ups, or meditation, or have your coffee and have like some me time or whatever, or if you know that when you have a good day, that's the day you journaled. You know what I'm saying? That's the day you prayed. That's the day you went to the gym. That's the day you did some cardio. That's the day that you turned your phone off for an hour and played with your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Pastor Bling.
Yeah, God forbid. But yeah, it's like whatever that is to you, we want to be in your home and we want to help bring that sensory memory of just that connection, like the community of like, hey, we're in this together. Don't let social media fuck your brain off and think, oh my God, we're going to have a civil war or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it ain't even, that's just TikTok ramping shit up, my G.
Buenas vibras is what you call it. Buenas vibras.
Huevo. So a lot to talk about. Shout out to all the members of the TIA. Yesterday, I texted Rob. I was like, Rob, are we supposed to be going? Well, actually, he asked me. He's like, hey, bro, we going live today with the patrons? And I was like, okay, was this supposed to be every other week or weekly? Only because, bro, yesterday was it was just bad. It was like, I'm going to Chicago Wednesday, August 31st. We trying to, you know what I'm saying? We trying to let the nanny take a day or two off, and we just, fold the laundry, do the laundry, hang with the kids, take them to all their activities, and before I leave Wednesday, August 31st, Chicago.
A new newsletter went out last night. Hundreds of clicks on the ticket link, so that's good to see. But if you haven't signed up, where can I sign up for the newsletter?
Just go to chingobling.com and the thing pops up. I want to start doing trivia at the shows where we play a video and there's questions like, what's the name of Chingo's rooster? Or like, what shoe company tried to sue Chingo over the boots? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's funny.
Nothing difficult. We don't want you to just be on Google when you should be ordering your drinks.
Yeah.
Or talking to your lady. But have it to where you could turn in your little bingo card, your trivia, and put your email. And I want to start doing a better job of contributing more of like my voice to the email. So, for example, what if I'm in San Jose? I take a picture of my burrito. Not that kind, ladies.
Whoa.
Not that kind, ladies.
Okay.
Let's say you in San Jose at La Victoria, and you just want to snap a photo of your burrito.
Like Hunter style? Like Hunter
not like the president's son.
Okay.
I'm talking about food. You little pervs, you little degenerates must be on the Discord, ain't you? Anyway, and just type up a little something that's like, yo, San Jose, y'all always show love. It was fun. We busted out the bottle of the hot sauce. We passed it around. And next stop, Chicago.
Do we need to get you a desk? Do you think we should get you a desk? A news desk? We should get you a news anchor desk, like Ron Burgundy style.
Yeah, and put me a green screen so it could just really look like a news thing.
We could. We absolutely could.
My wife's going to be like, why are we trying to fix up your set? And you just gonna green screen your shit.
We'll switch it up from time to time. We'll have a real set and then a fake set.
It's about to get brighter up in here. I'm gonna take that fan down because I saw how to do it on YouTube, and I'm scared I'm gonna get electrocuted. But we're gonna put a big ass light, so it's gonna be lit up in here.
Literally lit. No, but yeah, to go back to it, put your own voice. So yeah, like as you go along stops, kind of put something in there from the stops.
Exactly. We want to make the email special, and I need to because a lot of times it's like, man, I want to go live. I got to go live. It's like, but now's not a good time. People at work and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you be wanting to do stuff, but it's like, okay, well, the newsletter is something that you can have that discipline of not just thinking the cool idea and just like whatever, like write it down and just share with your peeps that open up the email.
Yeah, well, and mark your calendar. So that means September 5th, which is Monday coming up, will be the next RPT live we'll do. Basically, it's like an RPT hangout. We do roast some headlines. We talk about, talk some shit. We also get people in the Discord onto the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to test out Crowdcast again. and then just see how it goes. And I might test it over the weekend with some patrons just to see that, make sure I can get everything, the chat working right. Apparently last time I looked at some of the behind the scenes shit and they were like, oh, it looked like your internet dropped. I was like, how? We're hardwired. Like, why did it drop?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to call AT&T myself.
It's the Blue City Blues, brother. So yeah, hit up the Discord, join that hitting up the Discord, that's only $1.
Yeah.
So
to just be a member of the Discord alone.
For sure. All right, man. So today's topics. Bill Maher is back with more common sense. He's on a roll.
He is on a roll. Have you seen the clip of him talking about South Texas and Democrats?
I think I might have seen it, yeah, because the person said, why are they leaving our party? And he's like, well, your attitude, for starters.
Right.
That one? Yeah.
I thought I had that fucking clip queued up. I don't have it queued up. But he went on a long rant about just the Latinx and are you surprised that the Latinos are leaving the Democratic Party?
And he's still smug. Ooh, that smugness, it gets weaponized against the Democrats. They're like, hey, bro,
exactly.
I thought you was progressive as fuck, bro.
So let's say that you're on his show in 6 months to a year's time and you're talking about these kind of subjects.
Yeah, because he wants to see what's going on. Chingo Bling is here. He's a stand-up comedian. So you're going to be in Chicago on Wednesday, August 31st. And I'll be like, yeah, man, chingobling.com. Get your tickets now, Bill.
Now, before we start pushing your show more, let's talk about some of the things you've talked about over the last 3 years. I kind of agree with the Latinx thing not being a good move, but Chingo, tell me why you're such a Trump supporter.
Well, see, first of all, the term Trump supporter has been used as a pejorative to shut people down who just want to be America first. We gotta, people on the left, if you want to understand the RGV in South Texas, you can't come at them already attacking them and saying these mouth-breathing, Fox News watching, backwards QAnon, far white and far right Latinx people that are coconuts, and those Texas fools are different. So instead of coming at people like that, maybe understand policy-wise, community-wise. Is it the safety? Is it the border? Is it inflation? Bill, we got to start being real and asking these type of questions.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but when you say America first, that means you're really listening to Steve Bannon. Am I right?
Actually, I love Steve Bannon. I am a part of the War Room Posse. You know what I'm saying? I think they've called a lot of correct shots. They've called the stagflation. They called everything with these inflationary policies. So I'd argue that the reason his show is so big is because he cuts through all the noise and gets to the signal. And all the people in the RGV are not dumb. They understand. They see firsthand. They see the Haitians at the Stripes stealing the Selena cups. We know who been stealing all the Selena cups, Bill.
Chingo Bling will be at Zany's in Chicago Wednesday night.
August 31st. Get your tickets now.
He's like,
I'd like to join the Discord.
It's like a combination of Trump and Bill Maher.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
But he's
so
very
good.
smug, I don't like Kyle Dunnigan doing impressions of me.
I was going to say, that sounds like Kyle Dunnigan. It sounds like him doing Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a conservative gal.
Yeah, I'm more of a conservative gal myself.
But yeah, man, I just, and I said this a long time ago when he did Rogan, I still don't buy his shit. He's going wherever the wind blows, but I think it's still a positive. It's a net positive that he's saying these things on his show.
Yeah, I think he found his lane, bro. He peeped he peeped the zeitgeist, and he saw how some of the policies coming from the CDC or some of the vax messaging. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had homegirl Barry Weiss on there. Are you still Bill Maher? Do I say you had?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had viral moments, Bill. I think you understand the zeitgeist, and you found that good little lane of all the common sense people on the left who might be liberal. They're not necessarily communists. They want to open up the prisons. There's still a lot of people that are populist, and we're still towards the center.
But she was once a New York Times journalist. Who should I have on next then? She's credible. Who's credible to you?
Oh, man, there's a lot of people making a lot of noise in the space that, in the Latino exit space, of course, like Jesse Holguin from Lexit. You got a lot of great journalists, Oscar Blue Ramirez from Mexico, who's doing great, and his homeboy Anthony Aguero.
Dude, they're doing some serious
Have you
work.
seen the video of the little kid drug allegedly
with the light? They flashed the light and he's like, no, ese niño no está whatever he said. I don't remember what he said.
Lo están traficando.
Yeah, it was intense, dude. That's crazy.
And apparently it was a male and a female who allegedly were from Colombia, and supposedly this was their kid, but apparently the shit didn't look like it.
I know we have an order for the list, but we never go down that order.
But I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. But go on.
No, well, Peter Ducey, like he kept bringing that up. I was just going to say, like, the border has really been off the radar from everything mainstream, everything press secretary, and now recently, it's just funny that Peter Ducey has been asking about it more and pushing on it more, and she tiptoes and tap dances around that shit without ever really saying anything about it. That's not what's happening. They're not just walking over.
KJP. Yeah. She was like, he said, well, why are y'all forcing people to get vaxxed if you can just walk into the country and not get vaxxed, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not what's happening, Peter. And it's like, they literally walking through. I think, man, I don't know when La Raza, because again, I was on that side for a long time. You know what I mean? That ideology of, hey man, what border walls are racist. Every time you say national security and all that, like you're ignoring the fact how much immigrants contribute to the economy, and the Republicans, they want cheap labor, which is true. A lot of them do, especially the rhinos.
Right.
Ronald Reagan did amnesty. You know what I'm saying? There's been it's not even a debate no more that a lot of Republicans wanted to help their big corporate friends and get that cheap labor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when is Raza, my point is, when is Raza going to start acknowledging and like watching the video that Anthony Aguero posted? I believe that's his name. I might be fucking up his last name. But had the Colombian couple, air quotes, had the little kid. And it's a known fact that these kids get rented out and recycled just to be a prop. And when Trump was checking DNA, trying to see, hold on, man, we got to separate these people. We have to really see, is that really his child? Just because he walked in with them all sedated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who you are, bro. Now it's very lax. Now they're saying all kind of random people just picking up kids.
I think it's starting to really swing. Would you say that, like, just based off of, I mean, I don't want to just say poll numbers, but just based off of, let's say, some polls you hear from here and there, and then kind of like the temperature of our immediate, like, social circles online, like, do you feel like more Raza's kind of coming around?
I think that the way you pose the question is kind of like, you know, people, social circles, right? Mm-hmm. Because obviously I'm going to be in a social circle of people that are probably more mature, you know what I'm saying? Got a small business or something, people that got startup company, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
families.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. And they just trying to figure out, hey man, what's up on a half steer? You know what I mean? What kind of freezer I got to get? Like, what's up with some hunting? How you got compost? Like that type of convo, not the orale, keyboard warrior. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sock check, homie. Yeah. Hey, you sold out your raza, homie. Hey, you sold out your people. You forgot where you came from. Like, Biden ain't where I came from, bro. He's from Scranton.
There's a lot less of that I'm seeing. There was only one comment literally yesterday I saw on one of our RPT studios. Subscribe to that channel on YouTube if you haven't.
Yes, please. New channel alert. New channel alert. Get up on that YouTube. Is that one on Rumble too? Or
not yet. Okay, no, it's just Chingo Bling. But YouTube, RPT Studios, we have 129 subscribers. Fantastic.
Perfect.
In 14 days. He said this one everything was positive. That Alex Stein video has like 22 comments on it. This person said, your Y-O-U-R out of your Y-O-U-R. Mine, Chingo, Trump is done. That was his comment.
I mean, I don't know who assigned him that opinion. Maybe in his lens, the filter he views the world is MSNBC is telling me the truth, and they're telling me that the walls are closing in on Trump. We have to always acknowledge on this show that there's two different news bubbles. Mm-hmm. There's echo chambers. You have lenses and filters through which you view the world. So you could have two movies on the same screen.
1000%.
The same, like for example, The Raid, the ransacking of Mar-a-Lago, the defilement of Mar-a-Lago, the historic presidential house, Mar-a-Lago. That thing, right? It was in the raid. It was a search, whatever. Ese pedo, way. Right now, depending on what side you're on, it's either Trump is done. Many people on both sides believe he might get indicted on, you know, the expired library card. He checked out the books, didn't check them back.
That phrase is so funny.
Basically, right? It's the fucking the documents committee of whatever. So either you believe Trump had nukes at Mar-a-Lago. He had the nuclear code. He was leaving them around next to McDonald's McChicken wrappers. Or you're on the side of, hey, man, what's up with the DOJ, Merrick Garland, the Alphabet Boys have been weaponized. This is like political. This is a political opponent. They know he's gonna run. They trying to kneecap him, hamstring 4/5, and take him out the game.
It's so it's funny how fast all of the propaganda hit the wall immediately. Like the nuclear bomb and the nuclear numbers, and he's selling information, and we're concerned for American spies, and all. Now that's what they're currently saying, and all this crazy like. Let's just add to the list of propaganda hoax headlines that we've had for the last 5 years now, 6 years now. I feel like
Russia. So either on one side you're like, the Russia collusion thing was a hoax. Like all the papers came out. It was some. If anything, they were spying on 4/5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fake news. Talking about there's a PP tape. But they just keep dropping these little headlines. It's like, first of all, what have we learned in these last couple weeks? Everything from La Casa Blanca reaching out to El Twitter and saying, hey, man, why is this Alex Berenson guy still allowed to tweet? So now, fast forward, La Casa Blanca told Twitter to kick him off because of some of the stuff he was saying about la medicina, the jab, and la vacuna, and then it turns out he was right. Then I think they reinstated him, and
after a lawsuit, yeah.
Now I think he's gonna sue the White House or something.
Yeah.
And then you have Mark Zuckerberg, back-to-back episodes on JRE. Mark Zuckerberg was on with Rogan, and he was like, "Yeah, the Alphabet Boys came through there. They got guns and shit. They got subpoenas and obviously they didn't put none of this in writing, but they were like, hey, bro, there's about to be a big fake dump of some bad news from one of the candidates, and we can't have that because it might be Russian. Gotta go. Bye."
I think that robot didn't realize what he said when he was saying it. You know what I mean? Like, if you slow it down, kind of rewatch that little segment over and over again, you can kind of see his fucking robot eyes were like glitching. You're like, fuck. The way he said it, like, the FBI approached us, and let us know that, hey, be on the lookout for this. And then he kind of slows down. It's like, possible Russian misinformation. Right?
And then he said it fit all the patterns.
Yeah. And like, okay. And Crowder made a good point, and other people have made it the same point. Who's checking the FBI if they're the ones checking social media? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If they're saying that this is bad information, false information, it could be it could be whatever, interference, who's checking the FBI saying that that's the case, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody. It's gone unchecked.
Yeah, and that sounds like, I think there's a word for it, starts with an F. And it's like ashism or something. When you start getting the government and the corporations working hand to hand and taking away people's free speech. So it's no surprise that the Ayatollah can tweet and Putin could tweet and everybody could tweet except for Trompitas.
When Rogan was like, who did he say was on still Twitter? Like, the Taliban. He's like, the Taliban can still tweet.
Yeah, they could tweet.
And Mark just kind of like, he's kind of let dead air kind of just simmer. Yeah, I don't know what Twitter's guidelines exactly are for that, but I was just so upset that he didn't hold Zuckerberg's feet to the fire a little more on those censorship topics.
I mean, Zuck ain't dumb, so of course he's gonna be like, motherfucker, that's Twitter.
Yeah,
you sitting here telling me about some other.
But then when he asked him, like, to what degree did y'all censor the Hunter Biden laptop story? He's like, I don't know off the top of my head.
We took a different approach. Than Twitter.
Motherfucker.
Distribution was limited. It was significant.
You know exactly how much you suppressed it.
Yeah, man. Remember, these companies got more lawyers than anything.
Yeah.
And like I said, he ain't dumb. So he's got to be careful not to perjure himself and not to say something that's inaccurate, something that his communication team got to walk back. Like, well, what he meant was.
Oh, they walked it back. I mean, the Meta Twitter page tweeted out that, like, this is no different than what we had stated in 2020. So we've known this. We've talked about this too when that happened, but he said it in a more specific kind of way this time, where it was like very direct. FBI said this, we said okay, and that's what happened.
Yeah. The feds, boy.
So before we get to the next story, because we're talking about who writes the headlines. Legacy media, right? These people, on TV and these big prominent writers at certain publications. AC Mata posted this in our Discord, and I don't know if you saw it, but I wanted to play it. It's only a minute and a half. It's your favorite guy here.
Okay, let me say this, bro.
Yes.
You know how as these epidemiologists and stuff talk about how viruses mutate or evolve, and are they zoonotic, and what's the vector, and blah, 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 right? Now, I'm trying to make this metaphor. All right, you know how viruses evolve and try to work around vaccines, and they try to find ways, right?
To replicate.
That's how we ended up with Omicron, y'all the weakest strength. Charlemagne, as a person in the media, is like this very interesting force, right? Like this, almost like remember how I said about Alex Stein? He's like this chemical, like a catalyst of sorts that makes AOC, melt down. Think about him for 3 hours while she's in there voting. Come out, do another video, another live, and 3 more stories to say, hey, and we don't know why they let them people in at J6. And it's like, oh, bro. Okay, Charlemagne, when he's able to sit across Don Lemon, it's almost like this Trojan horse type of thing, because he's still very much like not a loose cannon, but he can be chaotic. He started in radio under Wendy Williams, and he was always like the sidekick that was fucking talking shit.
Yeah.
Like really trying to make the guests cry and make them break down so they can have a viral radio moment. And that's why he carried the fucking Breakfast Club, because he would push people's buttons and force them to kind of like either get gangster or push back or threaten them and try to run up on them and pull up and all this other type of shit. So it's almost like Don Lemon's looking at Charlemagne. He's like, okay, this guy is a Democrat. He's on the left and shit. I'm kind of safe, but he's an agent of chaos. And sometimes he's a fucking loose cannon. Sometimes shit gets chaotic. And he'll fuck around and be like, you think you're going to be able to do... I mean, that's what the new owner said. The new owner said he's going to make it more to the center. Are you going to be able to do what you do and not be partisan? We question dictators. That's what we do. It's almost like his little PR team, whoever's on his team is kind of like, all right, what's the future of Don?
Right.
What are we going to have jobs? What's Don Lemon what's his next move? Is he gonna podcast? He's probably on a chopping block because everybody else done got let go, and he's still part of that old era. The old guard. The old guard, almost like in wrestling and shit. When this little era kicks in, he's part of the Brian Stelter. Who else? The boy that was playing with himself on the webcam.
Oh, Anthony
Tubin. Is he gone yet?
Not yet.
Tubin's still there. He played with himself.
Dude, Anderson Cooper. I would even say Jake Tapper. All these dudes are on the chopping block.
Dude, supposedly. Now, y'all got to look into this. Somebody fact check me. I know the fact checkers is out there.
Look into it.
Supposedly, El Chisme is that I think it was trending boycott CNN, and it was... Y'all got to fact check me because I don't know enough about this. But like supposedly people on the left, like old CNN viewers, were the ones saying boycott CNN because they're trying to take it to the middle and take it to the right. And they're no longer on our team. So I don't know. This is something I heard somebody mention.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Maybe next episode or next week we'll know more.
Interesting. I can see that. That makes sense.
Now let me say this, bro. And this is offshoot.
Okay.
Now, earlier you said, who writes the headlines? Here's a thought I had, right? So if I'm not mistaken, Scott Adams was one of the first people that said that, like, when he talks about AI, how plausible is it that a nation, or how many nations, are using some form of AI to play their global chess game? In other words, to either spit out moves, suggestions, probability, like some quantum computer. And I'll bring it back to this. Based Tattooist in the Discord, he said, hey, should we get this art bot in on the Discord, like patch it in and then let it join? It's AI. It's AI software that basically, I guess you give it parameters and you tell it like Donald Trump, Lucha Libre, Art Deco, whatever, these many colors, modern, realistic. I don't know how long it takes, but it spits out several amazing, elaborate, artificially made, artificially thought of. But like I had read Ray Kurzweil's books, and he's kind of a transhumanist, so fuck him. I ain't got my pom-poms out. But it was interesting the stuff he was talking about, like the age of spiritual machines and simulation and cyborg and like robots and AI and all this type of shit. Bro, you don't think China, Russia, the US or somebody has motherfucking AI the same way it could spit out art? It could spit out a series of chess moves. Like, if you shut down the economy, then you'll have some, like, like what all variables do you load it up with so it can give you accurate predictions of, trust me, you want to double down in this situation, and have the press secretary say, in my robot voice, like whatever you do, just keep blaming Trump, just keep blaming Trump, keep blaming, just deflect. Like the computer ran the simulation already, and you're just gonna have to deflect when it comes out about jab injuries, when it comes out about the lockdowns, when people start raising hell about masks and the Great Barrington like when it starts to come out that, like, wait a minute, so the CDC trying to clean up house the way CNN's cleaning up house, the way Fauci all of a sudden gonna retire. You know what I'm saying?
To piggyback off of that, what makes everything you just described, I can see why more people are like, let's go into the direction of AI, because I bet you they did run all those AI simulations. I bet you they had actual consultants and advisors advise them a certain way, and yet the people in charge disregarded all of that and made their own decisions to blame Trump and continue on this one narrative. I doubt that any simulation that they ran on a quantum computer or from the smartest minds that we have available in the country said to continue doing this. So whoever's pulling the strings, the deep state, they were like, fuck your simulations, fuck the AI, fuck you big brain people, we're going to keep blaming Trump.
Yeah, but yes, absolutely, right? What I'm trying to say basically is, like, what would stop our government, Russia, whoever, to have a motherfucking computer software, a simulator, whatever, a AI, a really smart machine that's gonna, like, if you tell it our end goal is to make everybody eat the bugs, own nothing, and be happy, sleep in the pod. You're gonna sleep in the pod. You're not gonna fucking own a car. We're going electric. China finna get that. You know what I'm saying? We done gave them all the rare minerals that you need for cell phones and everything else from Afghanistan. They about to dig it up out that ground, these rare earth minerals that are needed for your laptops, your cell phones.
All the EVs.
Yeah. Basically, you control that. You about to control half of America's economy, especially if you control the politicians, and they about to force everybody to go electric when the shit is goofy, and it's going to be really hard to transition into. So the AI I'm envisioning, right? And this, una marihuanada, güey,
I love it.
Que se me ocurrió. I just feel like if you tell the software our end goal is, like, more power for the Marxist communists, what do we have to do, right? Okay, it might be like slowly start to alienate, like whatever information you load it with, like load it up with all the books, let it scan all the books from, fucking Mein Kampf, like Hitler, Marx, like fucking Maoist dynasty, like 48 laws of power. Just load it up with fucking economics, so it knows how to calculate. And then you tell it our end goal is more power for the commies and make America fall. Okay, all right, here's how you going, here are some suggestions, like arm the Taliban, you know what I mean? Leave Afghanistan, soft policies on China, like let them take over the educational system, amplify on social media the fucking genders and all this goofy shit, the pronouns, and make the fucking sissify all the boys. Ain't gonna be no revolution. You know what I'm saying? Like systematically, you know how people talk about systemic? Like, oh, systemic racism, everything's systemic. It's hidden. It's there. You can't measure it, but it's there. Okay, well, a lot of the shit we are under attack by is systemic. It's permeated. The division, the fucking brainwashing of, the fatherless homes, the people dependent on the nanny state, the welfare state. Give them all the power when it comes to your kids' education and so on.
Well, I think that a part of all of that is what they're doing right now, and it's going through history, and you said it perfectly, like getting all those old books and just looking at through history at like how can we replicate systems in the past that we feel like we can implement in today's modern world better, right? They always say like it's just never been done right, socialism, whatever it is,
it's
right?
Like first disarm them.
yeah. And then what they're doing, and Turning Point, excuse me, USA is going to have something come out about the World Economic Forum. I saw Jack Posobiec posted this trailer for it. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, they made a whole documentary.
They're making a whole, yeah.
Bro, Jack motherfucking Posobiec, bro.
Yeah, did you see the tweet from December of 2021 where he called exactly that they would be blaming Trump after the vaccine injuries and everything started coming out to the T. This is from like December 2021.
Jack did?
Yeah, dude, I'll read it for you in a second. It's so crazy. But in that trailer, they talk about, you got fucking Darth Vader, Charles Schwab. What's his name? Fucking,
yeah. Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
That motherfucker said Charles Schwab. That's his homeboy. That's his cousin.
Yeah, that's the investor fucking firm guy.
That's his play cousin.
He said, we've got our great global leaders or whatever they call them, basically infiltrating in different parts of the whole system of the country, of the world, but essentially the United States especially. And that's what they're going to continue to do. And later on in the show, or maybe in the next episode, we'll talk about that little socialist that won in New York. AOC's back.
Oh my God.
So there's so much to talk about, but I think everything you just said, they've done. I think somebody has done that. There is an AI that ran these simulations that said, you're on the right track, keep pushing these narratives, go push more Mao stuff, go push more communist stuff.
We need more struggle sessions, go green.
Yeah.
Climate.
Yeah, so that's a great marijuana thought because I'm in hook, line, and sinker on that's what's happening.
Okay, y'all. Okay, Rob, if y'all make it to Vegas, we got to get Rob high in Vegas, bro. That's it. I'll drink for you, and you got to hit that motherfucking weed.
Hey, what's up? But yes to that. But also, you mentioned the systemic thing and all that, and I know we got plenty to talk about. But did you see? What's his name? Raheem Kassem? Is that his name?
Yeah, Raheem Kassem, yeah.
Did you see his video about the Minnesota rep? What's her name? Ilhan Omar? Did you see that clip that he posted? Oh, dude, I thought this was fascinating, and it's right off of what we're talking about. So tell me your thoughts.
Let's take Ilhan Omar as an example, okay? She comes from a family, and they call her a refugee who came from Somalia, right? They call her a refugee. Her family were the governing party, the Marxist Islamist government in Somalia, who were overthrown and then fled. Now, technically that makes her a refugee, but she wasn't fleeing oppression, or rather her family weren't fleeing oppression, they were fleeing justice. They were fleeing their own people, holding them to account for the dictatorship that they had established. So you have people like the Omar family, and what do? Do they come to America and see America and go, okay, this is pretty cool. They're not oppressing each other. Let's be part of this. No, they go, hey, how can we oppress them? How can we bring Marxism to America? That's the thought process. And it may be a passive thought process, but it's the thought process.
Action. Boy, that beat was jamming.
I know, right?
Signal, not noise. Action.
Big booty
Bitch, I'm
Latina.
action.
Oh, just
Bitch, I'm about to action. Holy shit. First of all, I need music like that up under my clips, because they're going to make me sound way fucking more legit, way more credible.
Okay.
If what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
Golly.
He's got the receipts to show it. The articles are there. Isn't that fucking great? Why is that not talked about more?
Because journalists don't do their job.
That's true.
Holy mother. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Shout out to Juan Big Stoner.
Yeah.
Always keeping the Discord lit.
Always keeping them educated.
For sure. One of the books he hooked me up with, because I started reading, I've been bouncing around. That's been my mistake. But I have one that's for the plane, and it's like, yeah, I'm almost done with that bitch. But anyway,
Trains and Automobiles.
Which is Which is The Truth About Socialism. That's some shit, boy. If you're gonna get a copy, get two. Give one for your kids. Real talk, because it just breaks some shit down. And for all the normies, all the raza that they might be hate watching, they might be tuning in just to be like, man, look what these hoe ass coconuts talking about today. How can I pick apart their arguments, right? But anyway, if you educate yourself on the atrocities of socialism and what it's led to, and Ilhan Omar's family had a socialist dictatorship. When you do a deep dive on socialism, these kind of stories make sense, because it's like these people allegedly are evading justice, and they're spreading their tentacles as leftists do, Marxists do. And what better way than to have her in camouflage as a refugee in Minnesota, where you got the capital of Somalian refugees,
right?
And she gets to be one of them, even though she was persecuting their people. Her family was persecuting their people, forcing them to be refugees and escape socialism. Now she comes over here. Now she's in Congress as a super woke squad member and pushing that bullshit.
So when you hear that, it makes more sense, right? Because it's hard to think that somebody's going to come from an oppressed area of anywhere in the world, come to America, and then say, we need to give you more socialist ideas here in America. But then when you hear that she came from that background, that's what she grew up in, and that's how they had power, well, obviously you want to come here and then replicate that system here to try to gain your own power.
Yeah, because America is the last stand. Like, shout out, this is going to sound real corny to people who are very indoctrinated to like Raza first, Mexico first. They got the Mexican flag. You know, I always was repping. I was like MC Magic. I always had that Mexican flag somewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of Mexican rappers and shit from our era, we wanted to uphold where our parents were from and our identity, and that's how we kind of a little bit. How much of that was insecurity? How much of that was of like a inferiority complex of like you feeling like you're not a part of this hip hop and you trying to come in like motherfucker, you know, I know where my people from, but I know I can still get down or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, all the raza that are like what I'm about to say, which they're gonna get triggered. All the raza that still got the Mexican flag, they see that first. They don't. They look at the U.S. flag and they've been taught to hate it. But our founding fathers, boy. I mean, did they really think things through? Like with this Constitution and this Bill of Rights and the fact that our freedoms come from God, not from the government, not from the state. You know what I mean? And you supposed to be the militia.
Right.
Motherfucker, you are the militia. I am the militia. Don't let them take that word and be like, yo, you a conspiracy QAnon white boy wannabe. And who needs an AR-15?
Right.
And how dare you? Have you seen the billboards? Have you seen the billboards they have in California that say the Texas dream died in Uvalde? And it says don't mess with Texas, and it's scratched out, and it says don't move to Texas. It's like some propaganda, which please, if you believe
to it if
you're anti-gun and all that, yes, it's true. Don't come over here.
Yeah,
you're not gonna like it. It's too free. But to all the people that love America and they want safe communities and they got some common sense and they want a good education for the kids. They don't want the indoctrination. They don't feel safe with all the immigration, 4.9 million. Like all the people that understand the child trafficking, the human trafficking, and the fentanyl. Y'all welcome to come over here and join our beautiful republic and help us keep it crack-a-lacking.
Yeah.
But those billboards, bro, I'm like, ¿Quién chingados?
George Soros probably had something to do with it. There was a big win in Arizona, which we'll probably save that for another episode. But in their election integrity efforts, so we'll talk about that later. But you mentioned the founding fathers. It's crazy to think about it. They were all young as hell. They were all in their early 20s. I think Alexander Hamilton was like 18.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So like, what happened to the thought process of a person between 1776 and now?
They start loving taxes and the government.
Yeah, they're raging for the machine. They're raging for everything the founding fathers are like, we want to keep that in check. Yeah. That's the point of the checks and balances system that we took a year. No, it took almost a year, probably half of a year to come up with the Constitution. It took like 150 days or 120 days or something like that. But these were all young kids. These were all young warriors, for lack of a better phrase.
Have y'all seen the meme where it shows the founding fathers and it has like the quotes? It's like an old little picture from when they were making the Constitution or something. And it says, like a quote over one of their heads, it said, and make sure they're always armed and they got to have the right to keep weapons. And then the other guy standing over here is like, yo, this country going to be lit.
Yeah, I think it was Benjamin Franklin. It's like, this country's going to be lit.
So I never knew they were that young. Them stupid ass wigs always gave me the impression they like 180. So now the meme makes more sense. It's like, that's probably accurate. Like, nah, bro, look, I know the colonies and shit, we revolted, we done broke off. Motherfucker, had his bitch lit. Okay, how we gonna have it lit? Motherfucker, you are the militia. Yeah. And no matter what, how is the Second Amendment? How does it read? It's like, motherfucker, no matter what, bitch.
Yeah, it's short too. And there's like a comma in there that people always gloss over, but it's important in how it says. It's like, I can't remember. I don't have it memorized yet, but it's like the militia, I don't want to butcher it, but because I'm looking up the ages right now. James Monroe, he was 18. Alexander Hamilton was 21. James Madison was 25. Most of them were in their early to mid 20s.
And now what they doing? Now what are 21, 25-year-olds doing? They on TikTok and shit.
Thomas Jefferson, the principal author, was 33. I think he might have been the oldest. But even then, 33. I'll be 33 this year, next month, 2 months. That's fucking crazy.
Youngster. Damn, I'm literally 10 years older than you.
Yeah, I know. You are
That's dope.
exactly 10 years
You know what I'm
old.
saying? Big bro.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, big bro. I just turned 43. Hell yeah. So Biden said if the Democrats control Congress after the midterms, we'll ban assault weapons, and people cheered.
Bro, they fucking, I mean, these people were saying this was a green screen.
Reach that's within our hands if we just vote. If we elect 2 more senators, we keep the House and Democrats, we're going to get a lot of unfinished business we're going to get done. Look,
The way he said that.
we'll codify.
Let's
Roe v.
rewind that.
We'll codify Roe.
Democrats, we're going to get a lot of unfinished business we're going to get done. Folks,
We
look,
gonna get done.
we'll codify Roe v.
They
Wade.
could have already done that. They control everything.
We'll ban assault weapons. We'll protect Social Security and Medicare. We'll pass universal pre-K. We'll restore the child care tax credit. We'll protect voting rights. We'll pass election reform and make sure no one ever has the opportunity to steal an election again.
Again.
Boom, again.
Steal the election again.
Bro. All these things, like, they could have done, everybody. Like, if you're listening to the show as a former liberal Democrat kind of voting person who voted for Joe Breezy, they could have already done this.
They could ban assault weapons.
Well, they could pass
Federal-
something. They run all 3 fucking major branches.
What about Roe v. Wade? Can they codify?
They could have already done that. They could have already tried to push for that.
And so the states, what happens when the states are like, wait a minute, federalism?
Well, you could fight it, I'm sure, to a degree, but they could at least make the effort for their constituents and say, "Look, we're trying to but they said no." But
So then the Supreme Court overturning it, saying, "Hey, this was never constitutionally."
it would be something that goes back to the Supreme Court, if I understand it correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's above my pay grade. I am a stand-up comedian. Chicago, I will be at Zany's in Chicago, not Zany's in Rosemont. I've been saying Zany's Rosemont all the time. And my wife corrected me. She's like, "You're not at Rosemont. You're at Chicago, Zany's, August 31st. Brea, California, after that, September 14th. Oxnard, September 15th. Austin, Texas, September 28th. Of course, we got San Antonio a whole weekend. Salt Lake City. And then Thea Weekend, the Thea Gathering in Las Vegas, Nevada, October 8th through the 9th. All members of the Thea Stand Back, Stand By. And then we end the tour. Addison, Texas, a whole weekend, November 4th through the 6th. Bro, I've been trying some new little ideas, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to the secret group. So I just uploaded a vlog and I put some of the clips in there. Just stuff that was like really off script. But yeah, man, I went to the secret group on my birthday and went up and very much out of my element. It's just like, I literally told the crowd, y'all look like the face of cancel culture. It's like a bunch of, mainly it was like a lot of just like young white, like college kids.
Did that at least get a chuckle?
No, they were laughing
Okay.
here and there. On that part, they're just very like quiet listening, and that's why a lot of times the guys that like take their time with their set and they just like tell the story kind of like this, and like the punchline it's there, and then you hear them like because they're listening and I misread the room.
Yeah.
They're basically a good audience. They're just really listening and they're very quiet and they make you really work. It's like library, coffee shop type of comedy. And I'm in that bitch trying to get it lit. Like, what's up, man? What's up, bro?
DJ hit it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't even have that. So I'm just like, I guess I'll roast the room. I'll roast this person here. I'll keep it kind of improv-y and in the moment.
Tripoli, by the way, for our Rockflynn listeners, if you have it, thanks for supporting Conspiracy Social Club. The most recent episode, Tripoli and Callan, for the first bit, we're talking about the industry and comedy and stuff. And Tripoli went ham on how LA has lost their minds with the comedy scene. He's like, dude, I got one spot at the Comedy Store last week. Like, he's like, I'm fed up with trying to pander and like placate to this audience who just isn't. They don't get it. They don't get my comedy. They don't get what comedy's about. Went on this long rant that was
Like
hilarious.
it's dead.
Yeah, it's just dead. Like it's over. He's like, he goes, I don't want to ask these people, the bookers and stuff for these places to give me spots. Like these people are ruining comedy. You know, even if I do a set at the Comedy Store.
The bookers are running comedy?
Yeah, especially at the Comedy Store and at just other rooms where like the audiences are killing what comedy's supposed to be, right? Because they're all offended and they're all like trying to just like make it seem like what you're saying is not funny and trying to get you to not be booked at places and so on and so forth. And then Callan was also kind of saying at one of his recent shows, like he's like, I just had a hard time selling. You know, I don't remember where he was, but he's like, I think it was in Salt Lake or around there. He's like, I did half the room, like, which is still good size, but that's not what I'm used to, kind of thing, right? So it was just a lot of industry talk that was kind of interesting.
And rockfin.com, get on our page, subscribe to our page, and you can, and then boom, you get the whole platform,
the whole catalog.
I know there's some folks on the Discord that we got to communicate some of this feedback to the folks at Rockfin.
Yeah,
they were having some technical issues or updates with the uploads.
Yeah, there's so we have a Rockfin feedback channel in our Discord, guys. If you guys have some comments about it, we can let the people of Rockfin know what your feedback is. They appreciate that stuff. We do too.
Yeah, that way they could fix any bugs.
Yeah. Here, we got about 10 more minutes on this. You want to hit the Discord for some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll hit some more stories on Thursday and Friday's episode. When are you leaving? You leaving Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday, Chicago. Zany, Chicago. We have a very funny local comedian on the lineup, Kim Flores. He's got very cool stand-up clips on Instagram. And, of course, Bryson Brown.
Oh, nice.
Geez, bro, he's been working so hard, so consistently. He's dropped so many comedy albums.
Who was he on the road with recently?
I mean, he's on the road a lot with Bruce.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Ralph Barboza on the road with you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's super funny. Check out his clip. He just did a really, really well-produced stand-up comedy clips on Don't Tell Comedy.
Okay.
They have a YouTube where I know Schultz dropped in for them as well, and it's basically like, it's very impressive how they just put together comedy shows in like these random venues, and they, I guess, email people like super last minute, and it gets packed, and then they produce it and film it very well. And I'd love to be a part of it. Don't Tell Comedy.
That's funny you say that, because I've thought about that, like seeing how I would give Schultz the credit of like the person who made stand-up clips a thing. Would you?
I mean, you could definitely give him a lot of credit of knowing how to finesse YouTube and just
Instagram and stuff.
And like you said, boom, dropping in. That's a whole series within itself.
But his sets too, right? Like his crowd work and all that kind of stuff, like making those things really pop and hit the fucking next level on the algorithm. But I've been thinking for a while, like and I think you just described what these people are doing is like have a venue where like you just have comics go in there to do a bit, but it's produced really well, specifically for like a 9x16 or 4x3 square rectangle, whatever, for social media. You're not there to do a 20-minute set. You're not there to do an hour, half hour. You're just there to do clips, but produced really well.
We need a really big sponsor for what I'm about to say. Either like Café Bustelo. If y'all don't want to be associated with a political show, that's fine. We got other shows coming. Just somebody, you know what I mean? Goya. What's up, Goya? Holla at your boy. Everybody tag Goya. Basically, this is, and again, this is what I want to say. In my newest vlog, it has a clip from the secret group because I took my cell phone, brought a little tripod or whatever, because I was just by myself dropping in for my birthday, and I want to get back to the family. The next day I went to San Jose. Their room is rigged to where they give you a Dropbox link at the end. They email it to you.
Oh, nice.
And I think the audio was a little low, and of course they have their angle set up so that it's not in the way of people. But I was able to take clips because I was freestyling a lot. I improv'd a lot. I'm able to take some clips from there, possibly, right? Got to crank up the sound, stuff like that. And boom, very inspired by Andrew Schultz. And I want to be doing more of that. So if we do have a big sponsor, or I could partner with, let's just say, and I'm thinking out loud here, partner with like one of my buddies who have like a production company, right? Or and basically be like, hey man, you're coming on the next, 10 cities. You're going to document, you're going to talk to the fans, you might interview me, you might get B-roll at the hotel, you might get the green room, and we could package it as something. Like it could be a product. It could something that could go on Hulu or Amazon or something, right? And I'm just thinking out loud, but yeah, obviously it's going to cost. You want to bring you want to start rolling with more people and bringing more equipment and all that. Okay, well shit.
Everybody has a budget for everything if they're on the road with you. But it's speaking of, I don't know why I said speaking of, but in the Discord, somebody asked, who was it? Was it Jess? Let me find it. Agent Scylla. My Hydro Flask needs some Chingo Bling vinyl stickers, please and thank you. Do we have any stickers?
Yeah, we have some stickers for sure. I want to make a sticker pack though
Yeah.
a new sticker pack.
So we played Loteria over the weekend. You know, I told you last week we celebrated my mom getting her citizenship, but we weren't able to get together that weekend. So this past weekend, as you're listening to this podcast, I had him over. We made some food, and my sister came over and stuff, and Don, my parents, and we played Loteria. We hadn't done it in a long ass time. Mom had a great time, and then Don posted a picture of it, and I reposted it on my Instagram. And one of our agents DM'd me and said, "We need an RPT Loteria pack where it's like a red pill tamal,
Like
el Barbón.
El Brandon.
Yeah, El Brandon, El Barbón, like something like, penny and soul related, all that stuff. I thought that was hilarious.
Agent of the month.
Yeah. So something to throw at you while
Okay.
you're thinking.
Well, my boy is a really good artist, and the Loteria merch, that whole collection, he illustrated all of that.
Yeah.
So how about this? Everybody in the Discord, let's just get an ideas list going. I don't know which room you type it in. Maybe, I don't know, the general or something, right? But basically, get the idea going so we can get it illustrated. Like El Brandon, El Hunter.
Yeah.
Like El Hunter with the El Parmesan.
I wonder if we could, have you ever donated?
El Swalwell, like the Chinese spy.
What was the spy's name?
Fang Fang.
La Fang Fang.
Yeah. CCP got spies out here, boy.
You ever, like CCP flag, but like upside down because it's bad. Have you ever donated to a Kickstarter or something like that where like you back a project and then as a backer, you get the project early or first or a limited run of it, I wonder if we could do that with the Discord. Like guys, I'm just talking out loud too. Like people have suggested some cool ideas, and that was the first one that I thought, oh, that's a product that I think we could have done, but there's layers to it. You have to have it all illustrated. You have to then have it sent to production, have it printed. You have to have it packaged. You have to make the cards along with the card stock themselves to play on. But that could be like a game that you could then have as a product for like the holidays, for families, for people. And if it's backed by our patrons, it could be produced like you could have some sort of credit as backers of this product, and then you would get the product as helping make it, and then we sell it.
So this is who would be the biggest market for, like, if you wanted to make it a viable, real deal product. If it's too inside baseball to where like only members of the TIA get it, and then now you're limited.
Sure.
Now you're limited to a smaller group of people versus like all the Latinos that are red pilled, like all the Mexicans in RGV, like Cubans, Venezuelans, like whoever understands.
Put Myra Flores on one of the squares.
Yeah, La Mayra.
Yeah.
The far right Latina.
Yeah. Instead of La Dama, it's La Far Right Latina.
So as you're playing, right, with your friends and family, it's like, La Far Right Latina instead of the Dama, instead of La Dama.
Exactly.
So instead of El Borracho, it'd probably be like El Parmesan or El Hunter or something like that, which is fucked up,
Who's
right?
El Valiente? Fuck it, it's funny. Who's El Valiente?
Pues maybe like Trompitas or something. Or El Patriot, you know what I mean?
El Patriot, yeah.
El Patriot or something.
La Bandera, obviously USA. What's up?
Yeah, La Bandera, of course, got to be USA, man. Come on now. El Brandon. Anyway, the biggest group too would be, like I said, where you zoom out and make it to where even like, let's just say Chad Prather. Let's say we gift Michael Berry. We gifted a box set to all these folks that are like, shit, I like Loteria.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? I love Loteria.
I want them to play this Loteria version of RPT around the Thanksgiving table and around the Christmas table this year.
Yeah, El Inflation is like, you know what I mean? Ese es el diablo, güey. El Inflation, The Wall.
Oh, shit.
El Muro. That one cuts deep. El Coconut.
Who's El Apache? Who's...
El Wokey.
El Wokey.
It's got to be El Woke.
El Woke.
Dude, the pastor, bro, Second Baptist, he was like, I forget what the context was, but he was like, and the Wokies run around here.
And the Star Wars fans come out like, it's Wookiee.
Oh, yeah.
Sol brought something up about that yesterday on her lounge, and it made me think of, I don't know what, she said, it's Dr. Ed Young, right?
Yeah, Pastor
Ed Young. He said something about religion, wokeism, replacing or killing religion or something like that. And I was telling her, Nietzsche had said something like that, one of the great, thinkers and philosophers who was an atheist, that the problem with getting rid of God or religion is that you then replace it with your own ideas and, ideologies. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Like, as people try to replace the idea of a bigger existence, they're replacing it with their fucking crazy thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's no coincidence. Like, the pastor, he did a whole thing. He started off his sermon saying like the separation of church and state.
That's what it was.
And, basically saying like, they're always telling the church to shut up, stay in their lane,
Yes.
and said, worry about your little baptisms and stuff, and let the government worry about the people.
That's what it was.
That was like his main point. But yeah, it was fire. It came with a handout where it says woke, Google's definition of woke, what woke really is, systemic racism, like social justice warrior, like
That's funny.
what was it? Critical race theory, intersectionality.
Oh, right here.
There it is right there.
Yeah, that was
He's
it.
got a copy right
Yeah,
there.
we read it. The glossary terms of according to woke thought. We read it on Her Lounge. Go listen to that podcast. It's another RPT production. Scribe asks, with RPT's growth and popularity with Chicano conservatives, what would the future look like for RPT, TIA Discord, and personally if one of you decided to vote blue? Let's say a Trump-type liberal came in and made that impression on with one of you.
What would happen with the RPT momentum?
I guess, yeah, with like the whole like RPT, TIA ecosystem. When I first read it, I thought that might be a good thing if that could happen, but it's such a far-fetched thought right now to have anybody that's Trumpita like come liberally, you know?
Yeah, but it's still a good mental exercise
Yeah.
because part of me is like, bro, that's super hypothetical,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
And there's so many variables because some people might already like Tulsi Gabbard for certain reasons, or they might say, well, what if DeSantis was still DeSantis, but he happened to be Democrat and he's still a badass governor, right?
But it just wouldn't be the case. Like you saw Hochul in New York talking about all of you that, you know, believe in your guns and whatever else, go take a bus to Florida.
Move to Florida.
Can you believe a New Yorker who's lived in New York for 20, 30 years, who's more moderate, left, even moderate, just plain, and your governor tells you that?
They're saying the quiet part out loud. So what did she say? If you like your what, and what?
I don't remember, dude. I think it was like if you're a supporter of somebody like a Ron DeSantis, and if you're a supporter of like guns, and if you don't want to adhere to our ways of life here, or don't have our morals, I don't know why she said that, then you're not a New Yorker.
Basically, bro, the whole Roe v. Wade put a battery in their back, and they feel like they have a chip to bust out and be like, look at them closed-minded Southern red state motherfuckers who don't want to let you your bodily autonomy, and they want to have a say in women's reproductive rights, health, whatever, reproductive health, air quotes. Just like the billboard from California that's basically saying, don't be trying to get to, it's like an abusive husband, right? it's really literally, right? It's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you want to go over there with freedom, huh? Talking about you want your little freedom and you curious about if the grass is greener. All right, well, look, ain't nobody gonna love you how we love you. We the state. Mm-hmm. Like the state is like that abusive partner that's like, you'll be back. Don't fall for that freedom shit because you see, they won't let you have an abortion over there. And you saw what happened in Uvalde. So don't try to get spicy, citizen.
But the way they're coming at it too is really odd, that they're gonna rely solely on as liberal of a person voter that they can get, instead of trying to placate to the people who might be more in the center left, even maybe center right in New York, right? There's plenty of Republicans there, but they're just relying on that, the Roe v. Wade thing, and going all in on that and telling everyone else to go to Florida. They really think they can win their election that way.
I mean, it's like a weird gaslighting reverse psychology because they know most people in general don't have the luxury of just traveling just cause. You know what I mean? Like if you're just from inner city Los Angeles, like all you know is Boyle Heights. Mm-hmm. That's all you know. And in the height of the pandemic, if you never got the chance to go to Florida or Arizona or Texas, then you probably thought everything was shut down and you had to wear your mask. And
that's a good point.
Like, for example, some of my comedian friends from SoCal, that they get to travel. So they know, like, oof, like in the beginning where it's like, hey, yeah, man, I'll come do Texas with you, bro. But I mean, I'm aware of my shit. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's what's up. I'm just letting you know you could eat a burger here.
Without your mask in between bites.
You don't have, exactly. That type of goofy ass shit. And these are the same people that want to get reelected and moved up. They want to fail forward and try to memory hold the idea and the fact that they were masking up your kids, shutting down schools, kept slanging their wine out of their winery, and then spending 15 racks at French Laundry restaurant. And so I'll look at old vlog footage from some of my SoCal comedian friends, and depending on like if it's a vlog from a year ago, right? Especially when I'm on the plane, I'm going through photos and screenshots. I'm just trying to organize all my files. Fire dank ass memes. Put all your dank memes over here. And I'll see like, oh shit, this is when I was doing X city with Y comedian. And I'm like, this motherfucker still had his shit on. And I'm thinking like by then I was way past that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was just the beginning. It was like, did they say yes? No, motherfucker, what's the data? Do we? Is it airborne? How easily does it spread? But everybody's timeline sometimes is different. And these like Eric Adams.
Right.
The mayor of DC, like, they feel like they could just gaslight you and you just gonna forget that it was them.
That's what they're counting on.
They're just like, oh, the jab. Pff, oh no, Trump rushed the
Never forget.
Trump rushed the FDA. No, remember Trump, it wasn't Fauci that said lock us down. Remember? It was them.
And I'll play this as
We didn't defund the police. They said defund the police.
Okay, Lena. I'm going to play this as we go out. Never forget.
You gotta wear it on, honey.
Never forget. I say it all the time. Never forget.
Put your mask on.
Send me that, bro.
There you go.
The parent didn't know no better, I guess.
Yay, Mason! Yay!
So DC Drano posted this. I know you. Do you remember this from the 2 years ago?
Yeah, but I'm like, send me that, bro.
Yeah. So the mother, I believe, actually posted this. She, you know how like daycares they'll send you videos from school and shit. She got this and she posted it on her Facebook. My poor son, while I'm having to try to go to work, or while I'm trying to keep my job, something like that.
Put your mask back on.
Yeah, that bitch was getting annoyed too, and she slings it back on his face at one of these times. Anyway, I can't take it. Anyway.
What did the Nazis say? We were just doing our job, bro. We were just being good Germans.
We're just doing our part.
Oh, Raza. Too bad I'm saying this at the end of the show, but all the Raza that hate watch, I hope you kept an open mind, and I hope, hey, if there's anything that sounded weird to you, leave a comment like, hey, man, the part where you said AI, that's false because whatever.
I'm going to cut this and put it at the beginning because that's a good point.
All the Raza that's still very much believing CRT and woke stuff or whatever you kind of pro-socialism or you just kind of lean to the left or you think I'm a crazy coconut, just feel free to take some notes, like fact check, debate, ask a question, challenge us.
Yeah, me da lástima, dude. Like the ones that just they refuse to like try to look into some of the stuff we've talked about. Just look into it.
Especially some of the stuff that's apparent. So yeah, we want to talk more about the coming energy crisis and how all these countries have gone super ultra green. And what does that mean? Like the green police that Canada just hired a whole bunch of people that's going to be in charge of making sure your carbon footprint ain't getting out of hand.
It actually means less jobs if you look into Ford's situation right now, but they're not really talking about that.
Yeah, we gotta start really talking at the adult table. But anyway, enjoy the episode. All right, that's for the beginning.
Yeah.
For everybody else, I hope you enjoyed the episode.
See you Wednesday.
See ya. Peace.